church. It was like, it wasn't it, no Bernie, it was like everybody's faces and like, yeah, they were all.
What year was that?
I've been there. Kim was born a year and a half ago, and Dominic's just now. So Kim would have been 2016. And I took him to church for the first time, didn't I, a few months ago. The worship was on and he was running down the aisle, the aisle of the church, just clapping, running around, having a lovely time. He was like, I'm like, okay. Had such a good time. He loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Right, did you put that on, now? I'm waiting. The Facebooking on. Yes,
Christian ladies, she's doing it. Yeah, so yes, what I'm thinking about with this topic is that women get a lot of inspiration, even if, like, you've been a mum all those years and you think you might be redundant. It's like hold on a minute, the grandchildren's coming along, it's a new season, a new life altogether. You get a renewed energy. I know. I said that, and then my girls didn't have babies till they were in their 30s. So believe me, I waited. I was really patient, but now it's like the most beautiful thing ever. Really is so special. And that little kid, just looking in his eyes. Almost a week ago. Lots of fun. So it's Valentine's, so and every time I used to take him for holiday, they go some walk and, make him look like a king. I'm thinking, what is all this? You didn't do that with me? No, you don't do it with Rose. It's something different. Something different. I can't explain it. It's a love unimaginable. I think it's really weird, it's almost like you get closer to the love of God and I cannot understand why. The unconditional, there are no barriers between you and your grandchildren. Quite an unbelievable thing. They're peeking at the TV screen, don't they? You're not supposed to be peeking at the TV. I'm going to put blinkers on you, that might be enough. You have to keep your eyes over here.
Hello, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a wonderful Friday. You can see we're already chatting here in the studio. How are you today? Thank God for another Friday. Thank God it's Friday. I wonder if we actually rest on, during the weekend. I doubt that. But yes, we thank God it's Friday. We thank God. This is Wonderfully Made Woman Talk Show with Ehino. This show aims to address issues relating to women in a holistic context. This show aims to educate and inspire you. We actually started this show last year and it's been mind-blowing with women coming out to share their success story. And we are in another season, the season 2 of My Success Story series. And I said last year when we started this My Success Story series, I said, your story could be anything. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to achieve everything you wanted to achieve in life. It could just be one thing that you're happy about that you've been able to do. Taking a bold step to do something that you've always wanted to do. That in itself is a success story. So if you have any story to share, please do call me on 078-466-20160. Just before we talk about this topic today that I'm so excited about, I just want to quickly tell you about what Wonderfully Made Woman does for some of you who do not know what we do. Wonderfully Made Woman is a registered charity in England and Wales, helping women and girls to build their confidence. We have the faith projects and community projects. Some of the community projects that we do is raising awareness on domestic violence, the effects on domestic violence on women and children, FGM, talk show, confidence building seminars. Like we're having a very wonderful confidence building training starting from next week, and it's called The Beautiful Me, using makeup as a means to build your confidence, learning how to be beautiful as a woman. So if you want to take part in that project, you can contact us after the show. Our faith projects are the Easter outreach, our Wonderfully Made Woman ministry, where women from different denominations come together as one to pray for themselves, their families, and the community at large. We also have the Christmas outreach, reaching out to the widows, the single mothers, and women who are married but living single, which means women who are married but actually lonely. We reach out to these people during the Christmas and the Easter period. We also have Affairs of the Heart. Affairs of the Heart was launched in 2013 and is a forum where we talk about issues relating to relationship, whether marriages, blended family, you're single and you're thinking of how to start a relationship with your partner, a healthy relationship, then that forum, you need to be there. We used to have our talk show, which will be starting very soon. The advert is going to be on, so always check our Facebook page. For more information, we do a lot of things in this charity, helping people restoring their confidence. For more information, please go on our website, www.wonderfullymadewoman.org, or you can check out on our Facebook page, Wonderfully Made Woman. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at WMadeWoman. So please check for more details on our website. It's been a wonderful day, and I've been enjoying this season of my success story. Last week I was thinking of what are we going to talk about today? And I got this inspiration of, just talking about grandmothers, how women become single, they're married with children, and all of a sudden they're grandmothers. What does it feel to be a grandma? Why do grandmothers treat their grandchildren specially? Why do you not get away with things that your grandchildren get away with? Those are the things we're going to be sharing today. It's going to be a very relaxing episode today, not too serious, talking about serious issues, but we just want to enjoy ourselves and also to appreciate all the grandmothers out there who are doing an amazing job, unpaid job for that matter. And they're doing it with all happiness and excitement. When I talked about this topic 2 days ago, my daughter was saying, "Oh, Mom, you should have done it when Grandma was around."
That would have been a good idea,
and I said, anyway, I have another grandma that will be coming to share her experience. So today with me on the show is a wonderfully made woman, a wonderful friend, always laughing, making you laugh. I've been laughing since we got in here. I'm going to leave her to introduce herself to you. So good morning, darling.
Good morning, honey.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Even with the short notice, the thing about me is I always do things last minute. And I'm so blessed with wonderful women who will always say, "You know what, I'll be there." So thank you so much for coming. Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Those watching.
Yeah, those that don't know me, my name's Julia Rees. I'm a very, very proud mother of 4 children and an exceptionally proud grandmother.
Oh, you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, of 2 grandsons. My 2 grandsons, one is 1.5 at the moment, and my second grandson is just 7 weeks, just coming up to over 7 weeks, and they are my life at the moment. They are, outside of God, they're the reason I wake up in the morning.
Oh my God!
God first.
Don't let your children hear that now.
Oh no, that's for sure.
I put a comment on Instagram days ago when I was sharing this post about today's show. I said, mothers will naturally think that they will love nothing else or anyone else until grandchildren
Oh
come
my
in.
goodness, you can't imagine.
Why is that?
I haven't got a clue. When, like, I'm a proud mother and absolutely adore my children, and I thank God every day for my children.
Yeah.
They are awesome. But when the news from my eldest daughter that she was expecting came along, she sent it by, she did this little, let me tell you how she did it. It was really creative. What she did is she got the scan picture or a scan picture of the baby. Yeah. And then what happened then is it wasn't her scan picture because it was too early, but it was a scan picture.
Okay.
Or was it the pregnancy test? Either way, she texted it to me before she came in the room. So she'd come to visit and then the text message went. And I looked at the phone and I was just like, what's this? What's going on? And then all of a sudden it was screams and everyone was running around screaming and hugging each other.
So how did you feel for that period you knew she was pregnant?
All during the pregnancy, it was like, it was all about her, if I'm being honest. It was all about the daughter. And I wanted to take more care of her. We spent loads of time together. We went shopping together, we chose things together, and it was really lovely. And one of my biggest dreams was to be there at the birth of the baby.
So did that happen?
It did, but let me tell you the story. It was a matter of, it's like, with being a grandparent, it's so difficult because there's a line that you can cross if you're not careful, and you don't want to cross that line of interfering too much. You've got to remember this is their life and their baby, so it's so difficult. So when there was talk of being there at the birth, and I said to Shab, really I had to seek God and really had to pray, Lord, guard my tongue. Please just keep what I really want inside. Yeah. And what I said to her is, I'm available to you, but let your decision be between you and your husband Paul. And she said, okay Mum, she said, I want you there, but let's see how it went. So it went. Paul, bless him, amazing man, was happy for me to share the delivery suite with him and Shab. So we were all together, and we did have a funny incident when she went into labour. She was still at home, and we'd poured her this really hot bath. Well, not hot, but comfortable bath. And she was laid in the bath at one stage eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. And we're all there, the sisters are there. We all put candles on, and we were all laughing and joking, and she was going through her labour in the bath, but it was so much fun. I mean, we had fun. I don't particularly think she did, but we had so much fun. Anyway, when it goes into the delivery suite, I was there with Paul. It was basically Paul and I sat on one side, and Shab doing her thing there. She made us laugh more than you can imagine, which I wouldn't disclose in public because she'd be embarrassed. So much she made us laugh. It was so much fun. When he was born, I saw him born, which was, I've had 4 children, but I've never seen birth. So when I saw birth, I saw the miracle of life in front of my eyes that, oh my God, you can't explain.
I can't
This
explain.
in my heart was melted, just melted. First to see this miracle, and then to see these legs. Which is like,
And also to know that this
is
miracle
my
is coming
baby.
out from your
and
child.
this is my baby, my baby's baby. So when I saw his head was delivered and he was delivered and they picked him and put him on his mum, I left the room because I felt that was the time for them to. 2 seconds later, I hear Shab going, where's my mum? Where's my mum? I went back in the room. Anyway, so that's where it began, the love affair.
Wow.
That began a 1.5 years ago with the first one. And then because he had to have a cannula put in his hand for whatever reason, I got to hold his little hand while they were doing it. So he was under these lamps. So Kian and I bonded from second one because I was holding his little hand and I was just looking at him and my heart was like, oh my goodness, this baby is delicious.
Wow.
He's so delicious.
Unfortunately, you couldn't eat it.
Couldn't eat him, but totally delicious. But the feelings, I'll get back to the feelings. The feelings.
Yeah, I was going to ask the next question. How do you feel? How did you feel the
They
first time?
surpass any understanding I can give you. People say it and you're like, yeah, they're just being romantic or whatever we women can be, you know, a bit sentimental. But no, it really is. It's like, because first of all, you don't have it technically the responsibility of this baby.
Yeah.
You don't have the day-to-day. You don't necessarily have the broken nights unless you're helping. So there's just this bundle of gorgeousness that you get to spoil and love and do basically what you want with and teach them things. And but that love is like, if he falls down, it's like my heart. Oh my goodness. My heart just beats out. No, come here. And my daughter once said to me, Mum, can you not thank him for being still while you changed his nappy?
He's supposed to be still.
I changed his nappy and then I picked up a bucket and I said, thank you so much for staying still.
Wow, wow.
That's just, if that doesn't say everything right there,
Yeah.
I'm thanking him for laying still while I change his nappy. And it gets worse than that. That's basically the way it is.
Wow. It's such an amazing story. You know,
beautiful.
I always tell women, because we deal with women, at times in life we feel nothing is working for us. And we see these things as normal. Oh, you wake up in the morning, you feel, well, it's normal. You have children, you feel it's normal. For those who didn't struggle or pray to have kids or get married, then you have a grandchild or grandchildren, you feel it's normal. These things are not normal.
No.
They're success stories. So when I talk about success stories, people always believe I'm looking for one big, so to say, achievement. No.
No, that's
This itself is a success story for a woman to have 4 kids and she's alive to experience her children have kids and you're there for them. That is an amazing success story.
It's beautiful to think that your flesh and blood trusts you to look after their flesh and blood. That's really big. And when you think about what, especially if your children have experienced hardship in their life, which mine have done, and then they're going on to these families, I look at the way my daughters love their children and I'm in awe. I watch them and I say, where did you learn that? And I know of a Heavenly Father that has loved them so much that they've been able to love their children as well, because the way they care, that's not soft enough. This is too hard. I don't want to put him here, I don't want to put him there, I don't want to do all the right things. Can't be in this chair too long, it's bad for the spine. And all these careful things, which I wasn't particularly as a mum. Yes, of course I loved them, but I was never really a fussy mum. But they're fussing and it's beautiful, and I'm like, there's a pride in that. So yeah, you're right. God hasn't chosen to take me onto a business or a career in marketing or whatever. But what he has done is he's called me to be a grandmother. And in that, I've got complete fulfillment.
That's it.
Because I wake up with a purpose each morning. And I'm like,
you're going to take care of your grandkids.
Exactly. I'm going to teach them about God. I'm going to teach them, when I'm singing nursery rhymes in their ear, it's yes, Jesus loves you in their ear that I'm singing. And that's how I think that the best thing is. What a privilege.
What is a big privilege, to be honest. I can't wait. I'm not telling my kids to go have kids now. I don't think I'm ready for it now. But honestly, I'm hoping in the future, praying that I will experience it myself, which leads me to the next question. But amen. What's the difference between being a mom and being a grandma? Because looking at, when I was growing up, I had 2 grandma, but they died years ago. May their soul rest in peace. They spoiled us silly. I remember those days, my grandma, she used to sell these petty things. And she was, oh, I'm going, not because she was poor, she just likes to go there to chat with her friends.
Yeah.
Then she goes, okay, come and take whatever you like.
Yeah, yeah.
And we pick this and pick this and pick this.
Yeah.
And she ends up with almost nothing.
Yeah.
She never got angry. She, you know, we could say, oh, we want this food or we want that food. We got away with so many things. And I remember then when I was growing up, each time it's holiday, I always try to feel I'm ill. So my dad would take us there. Yeah, because my mom was a bit strict. She was a teacher, you know. So what's the difference? And now that I have kids, I've realized that my mom, who used to be strict, she's not with my kids.
No.
So when I say, oh, Demi or Bolo, don't do this, she
Yeah.
goes, oh, just leave them alone.
Yeah, poor
Oh, just
thing.
do this. Oh, poor thing. Oh, you know, every day she's in Nigeria. Every day she calls. She will call all her children. She wants to know what time my children are going to school. And she'll be asking, have they eaten? I'm thinking,
Oh,
seriously?
yeah.
So what's the difference? I'm
Yeah.
thinking, Mommy, you never used to do this and this.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it now?
It's amazing, honestly. I can't tell you. Even with Kian, Dominic is only little yet, so I've
Yeah.
got stories of Dominic, but because he's a new baby, they're coming on afterwards when I speak about other things. But with Kian, it's like, if he's not old enough to ask, but I know the foods that he likes, I will go to the moon and back
To get that
just
food.
for breakfast, if that's what you know, whatever it takes.
You know what? You make sure you get it.
He at nursery, I found out, never let me find out what he likes, because that's it then. I'm on a mission.
I know that. I know my mom used to do that.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I found out that he likes dinosaurs at nursery. So what he does, he goes into nursery and he takes all the dinosaurs off the shelf. He loves them.
Oh.
So I was on a mission to find dinosaurs that were soft enough for him to play with. I found dinosaurs that were a little bit too hard, so I'm like, poke him in the eye, that one's going to choke him, this one's going to hurt him. So I brought one little set, but I said like just for him to kind of look at. And then I went into this shop one day. I went everywhere. I went to charity shops, I went to supermarket, you name it. Weeks after week after week after week.
Wow.
Everywhere, looking for dinosaurs. Online, could never find any. And then I went into Home Bargains. God bless Home Bargains. There's a plug. I went into Home Bargains and they had these bit like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He was like that big. And there was a Stegosaurus. And there's another one I don't know the name. And they were soft. And I'm like, oh, come on. And he was in Ireland at the time, Kian, he'd gone to visit relatives. So when he came home, I left them in the boot of the car and I said, come with Grandma, come and see what Grandma's got. And I opened the boot of the car and he saw these dinosaurs and he's like, oh, grabbing.
Wow.
But there's an example for you,
Yeah.
what I will do. I will go to the world and back. If my daughter says, Mum, could you bring me a tin from, I don't know if I can be bothered. Kian wants a tin. I'll go to the end of it.
I think you can just explain that feeling and the difference, you know.
You will go.
the
It's
emotions.
unconditional. Do you know, if
Yeah.
I was going to put a word, it would be unconditional love.
Unconditional love.
It's the up and above. It's different to being a mum. It's just so different.
It's so different.
I cannot
When
tell
I'm
you.
upset with my kids, my mom gets to know, even when she's not here, she will call and make sure that child is okay and talk to me. I'm like, Mommy, excuse me, I'm not a kid. She, oh, just do this, just do that. And I'm thinking, when I used to do such thing, you discipline me, you smack me, you do everything. Why is this so different? You go, oh, you know, I'm getting old, and you know, it's wonderful. So if you're a grandma or a grandpa, if you're watching, you are blessed.
Yeah,
The
and
fact that you
definitely
are a grandpa or a grandma, you have a success story. Honestly, and you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself.
Did you know that our grandchildren are our crown of glory?
Wow.
I was reading the scripture this morning, I think it's Proverbs 7, I'm not quite sure of the verse, but it says that your grandchildren
read
are
that.
your crown of glory. I think it's 7, might be 22, 23, something like that.
Wow.
I read that this morning and I
Yeah,
went, yeah.
when it says you will see your children's children, that's a blessing on its own.
course it is.
And look at you know. Oh,
I've come alive.
I'm
The
just
thing
going to
is-
tap that anointing now.
You don't need it. The second they come, you'll have it.
For in the future, I'm tapping that anointing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
That's all
it
I
is.
can say. Let me tell you about a little story with Dominic. It was his mum and dad's anniversary on Wednesday. 3 years they've been married, and they wanted to go out and have a meal. I know it's gone so fast, and I said, okay, I'll have little Dominic while you go out to have a meal, and he's only newborn. Well, she said when she left, he was in my arms, cuddling. When she came back, he was in my... Now, I do confess, he wasn't there the whole time. I did try to put him down, but he cried, and I'm like, what's the point? I'll just pick him back up again. So he stayed with his grandma for 2.5 hours, blissfully sleeping away. Just so cute. Now, I couldn't possibly have done that in the past. But no, it's just, just can you please go to sleep? But with the grandchild, it's just like,
It's different.
Oh, you know, I'm looking at every little...
It's different.
Like, oh look, he looks like me.
Yeah.
Look how he looks like me. His
Yeah,
ears are like mine.
that reminds me of my experience. When I had my first child, my parents spoiled him so much that it gave me headache. Because I went to, when he was about 4 or 5 months, I had to go to law school, so they were with him. By the time I finished my law school, oh my goodness, my son couldn't eat without them singing. He wants to sleep, you have to sing. So I point out my son will actually tell you the song you should sing at every minute for him to sleep.
That's brilliant.
It was headache, honestly. 6 years later, 5, 6 years later, I had my second child. So we already in the UK, then she came. And she was going to start that. I said, you know what? I'm not going to let you do that.
You're right.
No singing, just put her down. She goes, no. I said, no, because I couldn't. If my son was going to eat, you have to sing. And he goes, no, I don't want that song anymore. And you have to dance. So just for a meal, do you have 2, 3 people singing? I'm thinking, is that what it takes to be a grandma? Why did you spoil my child for me?
Actually, that's a very good point, and I'll pick up on that point of boundaries that we need to make, because there's something, it's unfair for our children to be put in that position. And something I learned with, especially with Zara, the one who's just had Dominic, she is the most amazing young woman and has boundaries in her life. She's very, this is what I do, this is who you are, that's who I am, this is what we do. And she was talking about with Dominic, and one day she was like winding him, and I'm just like, that's not how I remember winding babies back in the day. So I'm watching thinking, if you just
do this.
And then he wouldn't settle. For whatever reason, and I'm thinking it's because she didn't
do it well.
And I was like, Zara was like, I do actually know exactly what I'm doing. You know, I know what I'm doing. And I said, no. But you know, all the time you've got that, I know better.
Yeah, your body language.
But do you know something? That girl knew exactly what she was doing. And something God taught me in that is take a back step. You know, as grandmothers, we can interfere. And we can push our daughters away if we are not very careful. We have to say, I trust you to raise your child. And I've done that with Zara. She's helped me because she's amazing with boundaries, and she's taught me how to be a grandmother in the right way. With Shab, it's different. It's almost like I shared every experience with him. But Shab's a very different girl. She's more like, come on board and we'll all do it together. But she's a very independent girl. But it really taught me. And so now with both of them, as a grandma, to a grandma,
to the grandmas,
just consider your daughters. And what you wouldn't want to do is upset them, offend them, for them to think they're not good enough or they're not able. So in order to keep your child and your grandchild for the rest of your life, have boundaries, be respectful, and take that step back. With Kian, I learned how to be a grandmother. With Dominic, I've become a grandmother. So like with Kian, it was all like, if he cried,
that was the first grandchild.
Kian was the first one.
It happens when
he was my tester.
Yeah.
The second
That's
one.
what happened to my mom.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a son, and you know in Africa, if you don't have a son, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Then he now gives birth to a son.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Yeah.
and fortunately, or should I put it that way, I had to be in law school, so they had my son
So they had
to
a great time.
themselves.
And then you end up singing to him.
Then I ended up singing for years.
Yeah.
But with the second one, I was there,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
not going to school, you know.
Yeah.
So I was always with my daughter. I said, no,
Yeah.
Mom, don't do that. Don't sing. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So I think even with the first grandchild, it's a
Mm.
bit...
We're
crazy.
learning. I
Yeah,
think both
yeah.
sides are learning.
Yeah.
And something I would say again is remember whose child it is.
It is.
Because how would you feel? I think about how would I feel
Yeah.
if someone did that to me when I was raising my children. Well, I wouldn't have liked it. In fact, I didn't like it for a period of time. So is that as well, as much as we enjoy them. Do you know the most beautiful thing about being a grandparent is the lack of responsibility. We don't have a primary responsibility for that child. We
yeah.
get the good bits. And the parents get
That's
the work because it's that. I mean, if they choose to ask our advice,
Yeah.
that's fine. We can use our wisdom, but it's primarily
their
the parents' responsibility, and we have to honour that. And
Yeah.
and now I'm waiting. I mean, I had just one son, and now two grandsons. So in our family, boys were a bit on the low side. So now it's like just boys everywhere.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
good. So as a grandma, Julia,
Yeah.
how do you divide your, I don't say heart or your attention to be able to meet this one's needs, meet that need, your personal needs? How do you cope with all that?
Well, it's not been easy. If I'm being honest, my children know this, so I'm openly can talk about this with the daughters. It's been a real challenge. My initial thing was I wanted to keep Kian every day of the week. Not send him to nursery. Nursery wasn't good enough. They might talk to him negatively.
Oh my God.
That would kill me. I'd be in there. You would have to hold me back. I would probably be arrested for upsetting somebody if they said anything to him. That's how intense it was. But my health didn't really allow that to be there, which was very heartbreaking for me. But in some respects, I now see why that's the case and why that's happened that way. So it's now, after all, we got it windowed down to I have my Grandma Day. So I have one day that I focus I'm probably there every other day, don't misunderstand me, popping in. How's everything? Just come
So
see
you're
Kian.
not different from
I'm
my
on the
mom then?
phone, FaceTiming. How's Kian?
Wow.
Just say hello. But my set apart, undivided attention is a Thursday. I don't like anybody interrupting it. That's me and him. We have lunch dates.
Wow.
We go for lunch together, or we go for walks
Is that the
together.
grandma's day you talked about?
Grandma Day.
Grandma
Thursday
Day.
is my
I never
Grandma
heard of
Day.
that.
Yeah, Grandma Day is totally set apart for me and him.
Wow.
And on a Friday will be, when Dominic grows up, will be his Grandma Day. Which means that no matter what I do every other day of the week, even if I'm looking after him, Friday will be my day with him, without his mum, and just two. So at the moment there's two. So at the moment I've got 2 days. Time for myself has been a bit of a challenge because I do like to do things in church, and I like to do things like this. Obviously this is really enjoyable. I love it. And so it is difficult, but another thing I'd say to grandmothers, if you're listening, if you're still listening after me waffling on, is you must make time for yourself. Because before you know it, even the grandchildren are going to be grown up and they're going to be off at university and they'll only be popping in for tea and cake on a Sunday. So what you need to remember again is that you have a life beyond your grandchildren, and it is, don't put off the things that you enjoy. Don't put off your time if you enjoy your time with church. Don't put off your friends. Don't put off the things that you enjoy. It's very important that you keep your life as well. So it's a matter of dividing your life into for me, it's God. Although it's all God, we know it's all God.
Yeah,
we know the whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, if we think about activity-wise,
Yeah.
okay, so it's God. and it's grandchildren, and I do like
Oh my goodness! So is that the order of?
absolutely the right order.
I hope your children are not going to see this video.
They totally love it, trust me, they love it. But what I do try to do as well, I try to fit a day, a fortnight in with each of my children. We try to fit in time when it's us, we'll go for a meal or whatever. It's kind of hard to work out when they're working and blah, blah, blah. But I do try. And the hardest one is probably finding time with my son, but I'm still trying. Yeah, because
So you've never stayed a day or a week without seeing your grandparents?
No. When he's in Ireland, if Cian's in Ireland, and some Sundays, this is how good I've been, ladies, let me show you. The little one goes to his other grandparents
All right.
in Sandbach. Lovely people, by the way, I must say. Did you know how that feels? No, I'm really happy for them. They have a grandchild as well. But it's like, these 4 hours, you know, I didn't get 4 hours. So it's a bit like that. Sharing it with other grandparents is not easy. And you've also got to be wise, and you've also got to be sensitive. Because your children need as many people, your grandchildren, that love them, surrounding them to make them secure and confident children. So, and we grandmas have to be the wiser ones because we're older. We have to do it right, yeah.
Wow, that's so nice. That's so nice.
It's lovely. We've
So
got to be wise.
what advice do you have for women who are already grandmas and maybe they're not doing it the right way or they're struggling?
It's true.
Because there are lots of grandmas who are still working and may not even have the time to, you know, spend with their kids, grandkids the way you are.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to such grandmothers?
I feel for them because I know when they hear something like my story, they'll be like, yeah, but that's okay for you because you're around, you can be there. And that's true, and I feel for them. But what I would say to them is find an afternoon, an evening, a weekend, a something, an hour. An hour to the park can mean more to a child than 6 weeks living with them. You know, just really invest time. Yeah, but also I would say to them is that not everyone is going to be a grandparent. Not everyone is designed to have children. Not everyone is going to have children, you know, and that can be a really hard thing to hear when you hear somebody who, I don't want to revel in I'm boasting in the Lord in my life, not boasting in my life, and I hope that's clear. But I would say to them as well, there are lots of children in this world that are in need of a grandparent. There are children in your church. There are children in your friends' families that need a grandparent. Can you take over? Can you be to that child a grandparent? Can you help a single parent family? Could you be that grandparent that spends a bit of time with a family that doesn't have anyone? That's kind of a little bit of a dream of mine to see single parent families that even if they have to adopt grandparents, adopt a grandparent, let's start it. Adopt a grandparent for your child.
I always know about adopting children, but I've never, you know, thought about adopting and becoming a grandparent, especially for, you know, single mothers who are really, really struggling, and a lot of their children do not have that access to their grandmas or grandpa, unfortunately. So if you are there, you don't have children of your own, there is still hope for you.
Yeah.
There's so many children out there who needs that love, who needs that motherly love, who needs that, you know, the grandma's love.
Yeah.
Adopt one.
Yeah.
Be a grandma in your church. Be a grandma in your community. Be a grandma anywhere you go to and you see children are struggling. Adopt them.
Yeah.
You know, be there for them.
Yeah.
And even doing that, you find fulfillment.
Absolutely.
Because I realize that when it's just like my sister, most times the children are always with me. And I've realized that once children the more they stay with you, it makes it look as if they are yours.
Yeah.
So even now that they're growing, if I don't see them a day or two, I'm like,
miss them.
I miss them. So I don't feel that I have just 2 kids. Most
Yeah.
time in my head I've got 4 kids.
Yeah, that sounds
Because of the way that, you know, they've grown up with me.
right. Yeah.
So if you are out there and you're thinking, oh, Julia, she's saying this, it's so easy for her, she's got children, she's got grandchildren, I don't even have a child, or my own child cannot even have children, you still have hope.
Yes, you do.
Look for those lovely children.
Yeah.
Be a grandma to them. Love them, cherish them. Never allow any situation you're going through put you down. Never allow anything that you feel is not right in your life make you lose confidence in yourself. Don't even allow this show
Yeah.
bring down your confidence and say, I wish I could be like Julia.
Because you can.
You can, in a different way.
Yeah.
The children everywhere looking for that love,
Yeah.
looking for a grandma's love.
Yeah.
You can start to have a positive mindset towards that. I never thought of that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Can I just if I could be so bold as to approach any pastors that we have listening to the programme, to say, could you encourage that connection between grandparents and children in your church?
In
Could
church,
you be
wow.
the link between the two? Could you identify a single parent family and a person who is a little bit elderly, who has so much love to give and has nowhere to pour it out?
Wow.
So pastors, I would urge you, if you feel that you could be that link, that would be just an amazing thing, because these children and these grandparents deserve unconditional love. And there's both parties sat there waiting for someone to go, why don't you two get together? I see a great hope for that, and I believe that our Lord won't see any of us lonely. I don't believe that that's what He wants for us, and
Not
I
at
think
all.
there is a way around it. There is a way for all of
There
us
is a way.
to
There
have
is a way.
family love. I believe
Yeah.
that, and the church is the perfect way for
A
that,
way for that.
because
you know,
we are family.
we always talk about, you know, single parents who are maybe struggling with their kids, and we tell the men to be a father figure for them in church and in communities. We also talk about widows,
Yeah.
but I never thought about grandmas or elderly women who are there, have no kids.
They have so
To
much
love.
wisdom. Oh, and wisdom.
So this is an inspiration, and I hope that people will start to do that. It's
I
something
believe-
that we need to talk about more, honestly.
believe so. I think it is something I've had on my heart for years, but something else I as well is something called, I'm sure, I don't think I was dreaming it, it's called a bottom drawer thing. It's an old English thing. And what it was is the grandparents would put in the bottom drawer of their dressing table things for their grandchildren or their daughters as they grew up and got married.
Yeah.
And I believe as women of God that we can create inverted commas bottom drawer for children and grandchildren, where it's teaching about God, it's teaching about the love of God, teaching about kindness and hospitality, and just equipping them for the next generation, you know, rather than just letting it happen, making a focus on really getting this next generation in good relationship with God, getting them to understand how good God is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Very
Because if
important.
we don't tell our children about the goodness of God, this is pretty much the first place they're going to
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
They may find it out another way, but this is the way they're going to find it out, by what they experience.
Yeah.
So my grandsons will know about the goodness of God
God through you.
because they felt it. Because the love that I have for them, it's unconditional. It has no limits. And that's God's love for us. Little plug there.
All right, she's getting emotional. But it's good. It's good
Yeah,
that you
that's God's
pointed
love
that
for us,
out,
yeah.
and I think we also need to take that from there to make sure that these women are not lonely, and those children who, because I can just imagine now my children talk about their grandma anytime to whoever wants to listen.
Yeah.
There are times they see things, maybe a spider or whatever. They go, oh, I wish grandma was here. Oh, I just miss my grandma.
That's
Oh, you know.
lovely. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can imagine if they say those things in school,
Yeah.
and their children who do not have or have experienced
Exactly.
this grandma's love, I can imagine how they'll feel,
Yeah. Exactly.
which I never thought about. So it's important, not just in church, maybe make communities aware,
Yeah.
you know, schools aware that, you know what, there are a lot of grandmas around
Mm.
who can be a grandma to these children and, you know, bring that bond between grandchildren and grandma.
It's beautiful. Can you imagine it? You can just feel it, can't you, how it would be out there in the world where hearts are being fulfilled the way that we would want them to be fulfilled, and children are feeling what is almost their right to feel, to be loved, to be accepted, to be unconditionally accepted, you know, and to be appreciated for who they are in their different quirks and different personalities, and definitely grandparents are the ones to do that. Parents might want to change it, grandparents accept it. You want to wear a fireman's outfit, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, I want to eat this, that's fine. I want ice cream, that's fine.
Anything fun,
Everything is fine with
Everything's
grandchildren. Not with children.
No, never with children. No, it's all good.
Wow, it's been so wonderful. You know, it's a success story.
For sure.
It is.
It is. I feel
And
like
if there's
it is.
anything that you feel you've never achieved, this one is something you should be proud of.
I feel.
And do you know
Yes.
another success story is a lot of people have got children and grandchildren. They're not proud to say
Yeah.
because of their experiences.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
for you to even have good relationship with your children, have good relationship with your grandchildren
Yeah.
is amazing.
It's a blessing, isn't it?
It is.
I feel like if nothing else ever happened in my life, I'm
This
blessed
alone.
beyond understanding. I feel it every day. I wake up
Wow.
every day knowing it. What advice would I give? We went back to first one.
Yeah.
Because a very good friend of mine gave me a book
All right.
on praying grandmas.
Really? I've heard
Yes.
about praying woman, praying mother.
Praying grandma, so praying for your grandchildren. First and foremost, from the second I knew of conception on both times, prayer,
Kept on
prayer.
praying.
Through the pregnancy, through the delivery, through every day of
You
their
pray.
lives, without question. I know that they are the Lord's, I know they're protected, I know they're safe, but I believe that praying over them, over their character, praying over their future, Lord, what do you want me to be as a grandma to these children? You know, am I doing something wrong? Is there something I need to do better or whatever? But prayer is the key, absolutely the key. I've prayed over my children and now my grandchildren. That is the best advice. And don't forget yourself.
And don't forget yourself. So pray for your grandchildren. Do everything for them. Buy them ice cream. Spoil them silly. But don't forget about yourself.
Do not forget about
It's
yourself.
very important.
Yeah.
Because I know women, when we start to do things and we are happy doing it, we just
We do,
forget.
we do. And also respect the mum and dad.
Respect the mom
Above,
and dad.
I would say that's a real
Respect,
big one
yeah.
because I wouldn't want to disrespect my children. It would never be my intention. And it's being wise. We've got to carry that wisdom that we have as
yeah.
grandparents. We've
Yeah.
got to be wise and say, we're the wiser ones. We've got to stand back and say, let it happen. So,
And let parents be parents.
yes.
And let grandma.
So let them do, this is the short one. They do the cooking, the cleaning, the financial security,
Oh my God,
the discipline. What you get is the fun, the days out, lots of hugs. So basically there's a good divide of activities between
So
the
your
two.
mom or your dad take responsibility of the cleaning, all that
Everything.
stuff. And when it's time for that child to have fun,
Give it to the,
so
mum
the,
and the
so the
grandparents.
grandparents do it. Thank you so much, Julia,
it's my
for coming to
pleasure.
share your success story. It's been a wonderful day. I've enjoyed this
I've
show,
enjoyed
and
it
I
too.
hope that everyone watching us, have enjoyed it as well.
I have.
So just before I go, I just want to quickly talk about the Beautiful Me project. Wonderfully Made Woman, we talk about building your confidence, restoring your self-esteem, looking good. We came in this morning and the production manager was saying, oh, I didn't do makeup, and he was going to talk about it. Now, the project is not about letting you know that without makeup means that you don't have confidence. It's just beautifying yourself. This morning you want to go out, you take your bath or your shower, you put on your cream, your perfume. You just want to look good, Hide your pain. Look beautiful. So this project is going to help you, also educate you on how actually applying makeup can help you build your confidence. And it's also a time for you, if you are looking for a job and you believe you can do business, you can become an entrepreneur through this project as well. So it's for any woman, but spaces are limited. So if you are interested in becoming part of that project, just give us a call, or you can send us email via our website and we'll give you further details. Ending this show, thank you, Julia, for coming once again.
Thank you for having me. I really
My darling
enjoyed
friend. Very funny woman. No dull moment with her. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Next week is another day, time for my success story. So it's going to be a 13th series of my success story. And do you know what? You just have to keep watching, because the last day of my success story series is going to be different. This darling here will be interviewing someone who has been interrogating, using her words now. So the last series, she's going to be interviewing me, and I'll also be sharing my success story with you. Until the same time next week, always remember that you are beautiful, you are special, you are unique, and most importantly, you are wonderfully made. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I became addicted to it when my daughter would sing every word. Yeah, it was really nice. I wanted it.